can come back and reference it. There it
I'm
is.
also going to show you where some good reference materials are. I'll do that first.
Okay.
So InStageMember.com, when you go in there, if you go under support and videos, we have a lot of little tutorials that are like 1 to 3 minutes.
Okay.
So some of the stuff I'm talking about today, we kind of broke it out into little short how-to type videos so that you're not listening for a whole hour to figure out one thing that you need to do.
Right.
We also do webinars throughout the year, and we post those webinars here. I just did a webinar last week, so that one should get posted probably by Wednesday, I'll say, here as well. So we try to give you access to this information on your own, just in case you want to. Also, under Sage Member, you can set up users. So each person that's going to have access to use the Sage Supplier Center should have their own login credentials. You should not be sharing login credentials. And there's no limit. So you can list as many, have as many users as you want. There's like no license restrictions or anything like that. And I was going to say you can download the Supplier Center onto as many computers as you want to, but it sounds like you guys are primarily Mac.
No, it's just me. I got to be the odd duck out here at the office. So.
Oh, gotcha. So they can actually download it onto their computers if they want to. Again, there's no license restrictions to that. And you guys can all be logged in at the same time as well.
Oh, good to know. Okay.
Okay. So the screen that you're looking at here, this is like the home page of Sage Supplier Center. Over here on the left-hand side are different areas that you have access to. The distributor search, this gives you lookup access to our distributor database. This is a living database because we're in there constantly making changes and updates as we need to. It's not one that just kind of sits out there and never gets touched.
Okay.
It is lookup access only, so you cannot download a list. But if you need to verify somebody's contact information, if you need to verify that they're a distributor, this is a good way to do that.
Okay, good to know.
Order history, when distributors find your products when they're searching in Sage, they can actually create different documents to send to you right then and there. So they can create purchase orders, requests for quotes, requests for samples or catalogs. You will receive those as an email, and once we go under supplier profile, I'll kind of show you that information. But you can also view that information here. So, if someone calls you and says, hey, I sent you over a purchase order, but no one's opened it up or looked at it, you can come in here, and I'm going to tell you, guaranteed, 9 times out of 10, if it's not in this area, they didn't send it through you directly through Sage.
Got it. Okay.
They emailed it separately or something to that effect.
Okay.
We also offer you the ability to upload your order tracking information, so you can just let people know what their status is. And when I say order tracking, it's not proprietary information. So it only shows the status, that it was received, it's in production, it's shipped, and the tracking number.
Gotcha.
Most of my suppliers that do this do not do it manually. They have set up an API data feed because we have an integration that you guys can do. So they set it up through our integration and they update it that way.
Gotcha.
Online advertising, I'm not going to cover this very much because I'm sure at some point John is going to hit you up for advertising. But a lot of the ads you can actually manage through here through the Sage Supplier Center. Now, once we do launch our web version, I'm sure some of this information is going to change. I'm thinking probably that the online advertising stuff may change a little bit, but we'll do another training when that comes out.
Gotcha.
And then we have the Sage Chat. This is just another way for distributors to communicate with suppliers. As a supplier, it's a PC software that you download. But it allows distributors to send you a chat when they're looking at your products or your company information if they have a question.
Okay.
It does help in the visibility of your products if you are logged into Sage Chat during business hours.
Okay.
But as a side, if you're logged in and you don't respond, that will hurt your visibility.
Got it.
And then down here at the bottom, this just gives you those links back into Sage Member. So it's just another way if you need to set up users, you can just click here and it'll take you right into Sage Member.
Okay.
So now I'm going to click on Supplier Profile and Catalog. Now, everything in this area, with an exception of just a few things, is what the distributor will see when they search in Sage. You guys
Okay.
have the ability to make changes, additions, updates 24/7. And there's no limit to the number of changes or updates that you make.
Got it.
Most of the tabs, you have to hit the edit button first at the bottom,
Mhm.
and that makes the fields live. And then you just add or update your information. I'm sorry, I have to say the name of your city is kind of cool.
Surprise.
I know. I just noticed that. I was like, that's kind of cool, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. We get jokes on it just about everywhere we go. It's always a lot of fun.
I bet it is. I live in Abilene, Texas. There's not much you can say about that.
There's not much you can say about Surprise either beyond the name, so don't worry.
I'm out in West Texas where all the prairie dogs and tumbleweeds are. So, and our prairie dogs, the little town, just a little side note to tell you how serious we are about our prairie dogs. We literally have a park built just for the prairie dogs. Just saying.
Oh.
They're serious.
Very.
Of course, they escape, because they dig underground, but they have their own place. Kids love it, anyways. So
that's so unique.
I don't know if you guys have ever seen a prairie dog. Have you ever seen one? They literally bark like dogs. I mean, they're crazy.
My house up in Flagstaff was inundated with
there you go. You feel my pain.
I really do that. Like, without prairie dogs, we would not have the prairie, though. Apparently, we were looking into them because we had so many in our property, and it's really interesting. Their tunnels could go down like 6 feet. It's
I know, isn't that crazy?
Yeah, I'm not kidding you. It sounds funny, like I'm some prairie dog expert, but I'm not. But their holes literally opened up and aerated, which is why we have such a great growing. Isn't that interesting?
Huh.
It was all because of prairie dog with their tunneling.
I don't know. They're just so cute. I usually walk in that park that has the prairie dogs just because I like seeing them. They're just, it's just a nice little break.
They're great little family units.
Mm-hmm. We also have ground squirrels in that park. So we have lots of little rodents.
Mm-hmm.
Now on the contacts tab, the only contact on this page that a distributor will not see is they will not see the marketing contact.
Okay.
That is a contact that Sage uses to send out newsletters, statistical information, as well as advertising opportunities.
Got it.
Down at the bottom, when I mentioned those different documents that they can send over to you guys, this is part of the order management area. So this is where you would put in the email addresses that you want the purchase orders to go, or the request for quotes. They can all be the same email address, or you can have them going to different places, but it's only one email address per form.
Got it.
So you can't have it going to like 2 different people.
Okay.
And they actually come over as a PDF attachment. So you'll get the email, let's say the purchase order will be a PDF attachment for you.
Oh, that's nice.
And they come from the mail@sageorders.com.
Okay, so don't mark that as spam.
Correct. You can if you want to, but then distributors will yell at you. Then on the policies tab, over here on the right-hand side, this is where you can put in information, like if you do samples. I know some of your products are higher end. So it's perfectly okay if you don't do samples or if you charge people for samples.
Okay.
Because I have some suppliers that may have like a wide range of their product pricing. Some may be, $20 or less, and some may be over $100. So they'll put limits on it too. They'll say, anything that's $20 or less, free random samples. So that's totally up to you guys how you want to do that. You just want to detail it out so that they understand. And you can do that here. And I've also seen suppliers where they charge for the sample, but then when the distributor places an order, they give them credit.
Yeah, that makes
So
sense.
there's lots of flexibility with regards to that.
Okay, and that's pretty
Now, do you-
standard in the industry then.
It is. I mean, I've been with Sage for 18 years, and when I first started, suppliers gave away everything. I'm not kidding. I mean, it was like you could call and get just about anything. And then I guess when the recession hit, 2008 or roughly in there,
Mhm.
they stopped doing that. Because unfortunately, some distributors were taking advantage of it, and
Right.
that's how they were Christmas shopping.
Oh,
So,
gee.
getting samples. So it has changed a lot. Like I said, depending on the cost of the product, you may offer free random samples, but when you get into the higher end products, it's perfectly normal to charge
Ask
for
for
those
some skin in the
products.
game.
Yeah. Now, do you guys actually have a catalog?
We have a digital catalog, but we don't really have that many products, so it's more like
Okay.
a collection of sell sheets than anything else. So
Okay, that's perfect. And then right here is where you can list what shipping carriers that you use.
Mhm.
And then right below that is a box that says shipping estimator notes. Tools for distributors, we do have a built-in shipping estimator. And our estimator is based on FedEx, UPS, and USPS published rates. So it doesn't take into consideration if you charge handling fees, if you charge like a flat rate for shipping. So we added this box to where you can actually add in any additional notes.
Gotcha. Okay, that's good to know. Yeah, because we have negotiated rates that are obviously going to be much better than those published rates there. so-
Exactly. And actually our estimator, let me open up real quick. I'm going to kind of flip you over to Sage Online, which is one of the tools here.
Mhm.
Our estimator does say on it, let's see if I can, a lot of information on that product. Goodness. Okay. So our estimator does say it's only an estimate. Contact the supplier for exact charges because most suppliers do have negotiated rates,
Right.
mainly because if you ship a lot with a carrier or anything like that, they're going to give you better rates.
Mhm.
I don't know if right now is better rates, but anyways, shipping's kind of going crazy.
It has been ridiculous.
And then right here where it says operational alert, we originally added this spring of 2020 because of COVID, and a lot of companies had to close for a period of time. I know Canada had to close for a really long time. Some of the suppliers up in that area, but this is really for any kind of operational interruption. It doesn't have to be related to COVID. Maybe there's a power outage in your area or your phone lines are down. I normally say that when I talk to people in New York because they always have issues in the wintertime.
Yep.
Or maybe it's standard for you guys to close between Christmas and New Year's. So this is a way for you to let the distributors know that information. So they know when they call and you're not answering because nobody listens to the outgoing voicemail messages why you're not answering.
Right.
And then you have the artwork area. This one's pretty straightforward. It's where you let the distributors know how you accept electronic artwork.
Okay.
And as you can see, it has your formats, your platforms, and your softwares. You can also indicate your art proof types, which most people are electronic.
Mhm.
And then down here is for additional charges, like if you charge for PMS color matching or anything like that.
Okay.
Now I'm going to skip the catalog tab for a second. We're going to actually do that last. I'm going to jump over to specials. This is a really great area for you as a supplier. So if you run a special or promotion throughout the year, you'll want to list it in this area because this will create visibility on your products. It will actually tag your products.
Okay.
So the distributors will see right away that you have a special listed. They can also filter searches based on specials. So they can go into the system and say, I'm looking for speakers, but I want to see what may be on special, and it'll filter it down. And a lot of times that's the first search that they'll do because we have currently, I think it's 1.2 million products in our database. And some of the categories are really large.
Right.
So that's a good way to filter down. Plus, distributors want to try to make more money and they may not pass that special on to their customer.
Right. Who doesn't like a good deal? I mean, I don't blame
I
them.
know. I love deals, particularly when I find them by accident. And it's really easy to set a special. You just hit the add new special button at the bottom.
Okay.
And you just fill in this information. So you put in the title, whatever you want to call your special. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. It could be something as simple as fourth quarter special or back to school special or summertime special, whatever you want to call it.
Uh-huh.
And then here's where you can list what type of special it is. There's lots of different options for specials here. You can even do other if it doesn't really fit into any of this. For this, I'm going to hit pricing. Oh, but you don't have any products in, so that's not going to help me any. Let me get out of there. Try that again. And then you put in your expiration date. And once your special expires, it automatically goes inactive. So
Okay.
you don't have to remember or remind yourself to come back in and remove it.
Okay.
You can apply the special to a specific product. And once your products are listed, they'll be in that drop-down menu. Or you can apply it to all products. Now, if you're doing a pricing special and you apply it to a specific product, maybe you're have too much stock and you're trying to get rid of some of your inventory. Once you select the product, it'll actually pull the regular price in of the product, and then you simply put in your special pricing.
Okay, good to know.
And then down here at the bottom is for any added notes. Maybe they have to provide you with a promo code because you've listed a promo code here to try to track your sales. Maybe the product comes in different colors, but you're only offering a special on one color. That's a way to kind of convey all that information.
Okay.
You can upload flyers if you create flyers, but it's not required. And there's no limit. You can list as many specials as you want and as many types of specials as you want.
Okay.
Now, the next tab over is the shows and the reps. And this is where you can let distributors know what trade shows you might be participating in. And we do list all the industry-related shows. These are not all of our shows. It's just everything, yeah. And some of these are regional shows and things like that.
Right.
Let's say, for example, you were doing this show in January. So you would simply highlight the show. And as you can see here, it gives you more information on it. You hit the edit button at the bottom, and then you just check the box and put in your booth number. And that way the distributors can prepare before they go to a show. We have a trade show planner that's built into our Sage mobile app. So they can see the floor plans, they can create walking lists, they can see all the show details and information right on the mobile device. We will normally get the list from the show organizers, and you may come in here and you're already marked, and that's because we mark that for you. But yeah, as you can see here, there's like a gazillion shows.
Yeah, it's nice to have that list all compiled into one spot like that, because we always struggle with that. I mean, finding what the big shows are, especially in the new in being in a new industry with promotions. I mean, we have no idea what the big shows are. So to have a list like that is really, really nice.
PPAI is the biggest.
That's what we've been told.
Yeah, it's not going to be quite as big as it has in the past, just because of COVID and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The ASI shows are pretty good size. There's actually, I'm not sure when it is. I want to say it's in August, maybe. There's actually a show in California that's a pretty good size show. It's SAC, I believe. Yeah, I can't find it. I don't travel much anymore, so I don't remember the dates of shows, but it's all right here. It's a lot. And then down here at the bottom is where you would list multi-line reps if you guys actually use multi-line reps.
Got
Do you
it.
know what that is?
Yes.
Okay. Some people do, some people don't. Then you have your sales tools here. This is a really great area as well, like your specials, but you can upload additional marketing type information in here. You can actually put videos.
That's
You can
cool.
put in you can put in URL links like YouTube links. You can upload documents like articles, testimonials, press releases. I have a new supplier that I talked to earlier that she was on Amazon first, and then she discovered she can actually customize her product. It's a really cool product. So she actually put some of her Amazon reviews in here since she's new.
Love it.
And it's kind of like the specials. You just hit that add new file and you just fill in the information. You don't have to put expiration dates on these items, but you can if you want to.
Okay.
And just like specials, it's unlimited. You can put as many items in here as you like. The next tab is your ratings. Ratings are really important to distributors. It also plays a large factor in the visibility of your products. So you always want to try to encourage your customers to rate you guys. They can rate you in two different areas. There's an overall rating, which is A+ to F. So it's kind of like their overall experience with you guys. Then they can rate in these three different categories, and that's a 1 to 5 star rating. In addition, they can post comments with their ratings. And a lot of times their comments will include whoever they worked with at the company. They'll say, you know, Bill did a great job. He was able to help us out. Our order got delivered on time, kind of situation.
Mm-hmm.
And then as a supplier, you can respond to the rating. I highly encourage responding to all ratings because what that does is helps develop the rapport between you and the distributors because they can see that you're paying attention.
Right.
You're looking to see what's being said and how you're being rated, and you're responding to it. You don't want to just respond to negative ratings because that looks like that's the only thing that's important to you. You want to at least thank people for their business and thank them for taking the time to rate you.
Got it.
Now, ratings only stay visible for 2 years. You have to remember they are subjective by nature, so it's the distributor's opinion. They don't have to place an order with you in order to rate you on customer service. They can do that based on how your phones are answered.
Right.
So you have to keep all those things in mind. We do have what we call a Rate Us Now logo that I'll send over to you after the call today, but it's a link. It's a logo you can add to your email signature or to your website. And all the distributor has to do is actually click on that link, log in with their Sage credentials, and they get your rating page directly.
Okay.
So if you send those follow-up emails and thank people for their business, it's a good way to kind of gently push them and encourage them to rate you guys.
Right.
Then you have the statistics. Now, in addition to seeing your information here, you will also receive a statistical report the first day of every month. Over here is just kind of overview information. So it shows month to date, last month, year to date, and last year. Supplier info views, that means the distributors went in and looked at your contact information. So address, phone numbers, websites.
Okay.
Product detail views would mean they actually clicked into a specific product to see image, description, pricing of the product, so all those details. And then orders received, those would be those documents that are sent to you through Sage. So the purchase orders, requests for quotes.
Got it.
And then every month you'll get a list of your top 10 most viewed products and how many views each one of those items have. So it kind of gives you some really good feedback. You can kind of see what the distributors are looking at. Now, I'm going to kind of show you, you don't really have any statistics, but you'll be able to kind of see how the report comes over. I like the report that comes out every month because it provides you with more information. So you'll see here that you'll be able to see every single month. So you're able to compare which months had more activity and which ones had less activity. If you do any advertising, that'll be on here. Your ratings also are on your reports, your top 10 products, and then the very last two sections are global information. So these are the top 10 most searched in categories for the month of October. And then down here, it shows searches every month. The distributor searches, end buyer searches, and how many hours are used in Sage Tools.
Wow, that's really helpful to know.
Yeah, and again, you can see every single month. These can be printed out if you need to, or you can just view it right here.
Okay.
So now we're going to go back to the catalog tab. I always do this last because usually once I get to this part, the suppliers don't want to hear anything else after we do this. They're just like, nope, we're ready to go now. And everything is important, so I want to make sure you get the full thing here.
Yeah.
So up here, you'll see it shows 1990. That basically just tells me you're new and you don't have any products listed yet.
Right.
So in the center, we have several buttons. We're going to click first on this, on number 2 that says Set Catalog Year. So it comes up automatically with 2021. You can change that if you want to go ahead and change it to 2022. You can certainly do that, or you can leave it at this and then change it at the beginning of the year.
Right.
I'm going to go ahead and OK this one. So it says the new catalog has been marked in the system. You are now ready to go to the next step. So you'll see here the new catalog shows 2021, but the current still shows 1990. This will change once your products are added.
Got it.
So down here at the bottom is where you would upload your PDF. And it does have to be one PDF. So if you have 5 different flyers, you have to kind of merge them into one PDF.
Yeah, not a problem.
I was going to say, if you're a Mac user, you know how to do that. And then right down here, I'm going to click on this very bottom button that says General Info. And this is where you can provide additional information, such as your cancellation policy, what your less than minimum policy is, imprint method, imprint colors, shipping and payment terms. You always want to try to fill in as much information and details as you can, because the distributors use this when they're quoting their customers, and also it helps the visibility of your products to have more details in here.
Okay, got that.
And yeah, and these are open fields, so you just hit that edit at the bottom and then you just type in the information. And again, this is a live system, so you can come in here and change this information anytime you need to. So maybe you started out one way and then 3 to 6 months down the line, you decided to change one of your policies. It's real easy to do that.
Gotcha.
Then the next step is the catalog pages. So this is in addition to your PDF, because this is what's going to actually link the page to your products. You upload them as JPEGs or PNGs. And this little option here, like if I click on that, it's going to open up a hyperlink for me. The top section shows me how to format those pages and how to label the pages so they can be uploaded. The second half of this talks about your product images. So it gives you what the specifications are. And there's really not any specific way that you need to label your images when you upload them, just so that you know which image goes where. You can upload up to 99 images per product.
Wow. Okay.
I always get that response.
Right. Yeah. Just in case somebody really wants to show the thing off.
Well, yes, but we also did that for color variations. We have a lot of apparel companies that have 70+ colors for a shirt.
Right.
So this way they can show the different variations, and the distributors have the ability to actually create virtual samples. So they can create a virtual sample on the color that their customer is interested in.
Got it.
The product defaults, this is kind of a blanket way to set information that may be the same for the majority of your products. So if your imprint method is the same, the price includes setup charges, you can put that information here And then once you add your products, it automatically populates. But just because it populates, that doesn't mean you can't make your change. You can also do it in sections. Like if you have, let's say, I kind of looked at your website. So if you have one section for, you know, a different imprint method and setup charges for speakers, you would just set this up for your speakers, add your speakers, and then come back, change it for the next set of products, add those products. Or if they're all just all crazy, then you just add it to the product individually.
Got it.
Now we're going to click on Edit Products. And it's going to give me a message that says it's expired because it's looking at this date right here.
Mhm.
I'm going to hit OK. In this area, you're kind of setting your products up in folders. So each product is going to be set up into their own folder. So if you have 50 products, you'll have 50 folders. So if I click this Add Product button here, it's going to give me the product entry screen. So you have your categories. Our categories are very basic. It's what the product is. If it's a speaker, it goes in the speakers category. If it's a fire pit, I think we have fire pit categories.
Yep.
We do. So it's the pretty basic. Most products will not fall into two categories, but every once in a while, you'll have a product that can really be sold for two different things.
Right.
A good example is a flashlight that comes with a carabiner or keychain on it. So it can be flashlights and keychains.
Got it.
Then you have your item number or your SKU number. You have your product name. And right here is where you would add in the page number that it's on in that PDF. So if it's on page 2, you'd put the number 2 in there. And we give you 2 spots for page numbers in case it's on a spread or it's on 2 pages in your catalog.
Okay.
And then over here to the far right is where you upload your images. So you have where you provide an image of your product with a logo on it, not your company logo, but a random logo so that distributors can see how it's customized.
Okay.
And then you can upload a blank image, and that's what works with the Virtual Design Studio. And then you can upload additional images. So if you have different views of the product, if you have what I call lifestyle views of the product, with some of the products that you have, the lifestyle ones would be really nice.
Yep.
Because it would give perspective as to how the size of the product.
Right. Use cases,
And
stuff like that.
Exactly. And as I mentioned, you have 99 spots. And if you run out of spots, I've only had shirt companies run out of spots.
Right. Pare it down.
So right below that, you've got 6 tabs that go across here to the right. The first tab is your general. So here's where you have an area for description. And description is basically your sales and marketing copy. Should be complete sentences. And you do not want to include any contact information, company name, or pricing information in the description.
Okay.
Then you have your keywords. Keywords are more of the physical descriptive words. What shape is the product? What material is it made out of? What key features does it have? We also have built-in help windows here. So if I click on the word keywords, it's going to open up a hyperlink for me. It's going to give me a description of the field. It'll give me examples of what should go in that field. And then it also tells me what the character limit is.
Okay.
And when you list your keywords, you capitalize the first letter of every word. This makes it easier to read. And you don't have to repeat words, and you don't have to list like the singular and the plural form of the word. Our system automatically looks at that. And I know in some search engines, the more you repeat a word, the higher you come up in the list. Our system doesn't work that way. So if it's in the fire pits category, you don't have to put fire pits in as a keyword. It doesn't hurt you. It doesn't give you any added benefit.
Got it.
because when a distributor searches by keywords, it actually looks in every single field. All equally. There's not one better field over the other.
Gotcha.
Then you have where you list your product colors and you separate them by commas. Let's say your product is silver and black or blue and silver. You would list it blue/silver. So that little / indicates to the distributor that both colors are on the same product. So it's kind of like the word and,
Okay.
blue and silver. The comma represents a choice. So if it's solid blue or silver, then you'd put a comma in between.
Got it.
Then right here you have themes. Themes are like events or usages. For like your fire pits, we do have an outdoor theme. I think we have a patio theme, maybe. You can do up to 5 themes per product. Again, it's just another way for distributors to locate you guys. You want to at least do 1 theme per product.
Okay.
And there's a big list. Yeah. To the right is where you list where the product is made, assembled, and decorated. Here's where you put in the dimensions of your product. You can put in your imprint method. You can put in the dimensions of the imprint area and indicate where that's located. So like if it's on the front, the top, the back, the side, you're able to let them know where that is.
Got it.
And we give you 2 spots in case the product can be imprinted in 2 different locations. A good example is a pin, for example. It can be sometimes imprinted on the barrel and on the clip, depending on how big the pin is.
Got it.
Then you have your packaging. How do you package that when you ship it out? Is it bulk packaged, individually boxed, individually polybagged? It just gives the distributor an idea of what they're going to be receiving and how they're going to be receiving it.
Right.
Then you have your production time, and you can also list a rush production time if you offer that. And then this bottom row right here, this is for shipping. So units per carton, weight per carton, and carton dimensions. The next tab over is your pricing. You have the ability to upload up to 6 columns worth of pricing. So you would list in your quantity breaks here. Then you have your catalog price. Are you familiar with coded pricing?
I'm familiar with the concept, but I don't know what the different letters and everything are off the top of my head.
Okay. Has somebody sent you that information?
Yes, I believe I do have
Okay.
access to it.
Okay, perfect. Just wanted to make sure. So basically what you're going to be listing here is your coded pricing, which is the end user price, which is also considered suggested retail price.
Got it.
So it's going to be the higher of the pricing. And then based on your price code that you put in, that will show the distributor what his net cost is going to be. And just to give you an example, on this particular product back in the Supplier Center or Sage Online, so here it shows that the suggested retail is $13.40. So that's what the distributor is going to propose it to their customer for. That's what's going to show up on the distributor's website. And then based on the A, which is 50%, it shows what the net cost is. So the $6.70 is what the distributor will pay for that product.
Gotcha.
So they make a profit of $6.70. So that's kind of how it kind of works out. It took me forever to kind of wrap my head around that when I first came to work, but I think I have it now. And personally, I don't have all the codes memorized either. I just have like the first 3 codes.
Yeah, it should be pretty standard across all of our stuff, so I'm not too worried about it.
Gotcha. And then
yeah,
you have for your pieces per, then you have your pieces per unit. So let's say your minimum is 20 pieces. So your minimum quantity is they have to buy 20 pieces. And then the price that you're putting in there is per piece. So let's say it's $50. So they want to order 20, but they're going to pay $50 for each one of those items. Your pieces per unit would be 1.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay. Now, if you're selling something like a box of golf balls, there's usually, 12 balls in a box. So you put here your minimum number of boxes is 20, and let's say the cost is 50 because, golf balls are expensive. Your pieces per unit would be actually 12
Got it.
because you don't want them to think they're paying $50 for each golf ball.
Right.
Yeah. If you have any questions, just call me because that gets a little confusing too.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. So you're just basically telling them they're buying 20 cases of 12.
Correct.
Got it.
Correct. Then you have what that price includes. So is it one color, one side, one location? And then right down here in this section, this is for any options or additional charges. I was trying to think of a good example. Maybe you have different packaging options. So they can do like a better packaging option for an additional fee. Or maybe there's choices for different types of attachments or other features to go along with the product. You can list those here as well.
Okay.
It's kind of like this other one. This one has too many choices on it, but like they have all these different imprinting options because they can do like screen print, they can do embroidery, they can do applique, and then they offer like individual poly bagging for an additional fee. So those are some of the ideas that you can do with it.
Gotcha.
And then down here at the bottom is where you would list any setup charges or additional run charges. And there's 2 boxes. So the big box is for the price, the little box would be for the pricing code. Then we have the compliance area. We have quite a few compliances on here, but we certainly know we don't have every single compliant listed. So if you come across a compliant that is important to your product that you don't see on this list, just let us know. We also have the famous or infamous Prop 65 compliant on here as well.
Got it.
If your products require the warning label for Prop 65, we actually have them over here for you, so you don't have to type them in.
Oh, that's nice. Okay.
And here's for any additional details. So let's say, for example, your products are Prop 65 compliant and you have a page on your website that has all of your documentation to show that. Instead of uploading your documents here, you can actually put a note here that says, please see, and put in like your link for your website for
Right.
documentation. That way you don't have to add it for every, add the documents for every single product. Then on the Others tab, this is where you can mark items if they're environmentally friendly, if they're recyclable, if they're considered hazardous, if it's a new product, if it's not suitable for all audiences. And then this section for social good programs, we added this several years ago. We had some suppliers that came to us and said, we want to let distributors know that we're donating a portion of these products to nonprofit organizations. And so we actually added this in here for that. A good example is they call themselves Koozie Group now, but they used to be big. They donate a portion to Wounded Warriors for some of their products. So now they can actually indicate that for the distributors. And then you have an area for your inventory. Again, this is kind of like the order status. We have an API that you can set up to push your inventory levels. It is not required, but it does help the visibility of your products.
Got it.
And then the very last tab, this automatically populates. So once you fill everything in and you hit that Save and Verify button at the bottom, let's say you did it today, it would populate with today's date so that you would know the last time that product was updated.
Got it. So when it comes to the inventory levels there, is there a way to list that inventory based on the different colors that we have listed, or is it just based on that map SKU there?
With the API you can. If you do it with this, you cannot.
Okay.
Because I have like apparel companies that base it on color and size.
Right.
But yeah, this is only on hand the total number of inventory that you have.
Got it.
Good question. Then there's a copy feature. So if you're adding in, let's say, several fire pits that are very similar, but maybe they're different sizes or may have a few different features on it, instead of re-entering in all the information, there's actually a copy button at the bottom. So once you add in one product, and let's say that's the one you want to copy, you would just hit the copy button, the green back arrow in the upper left corner, the add product at the bottom, and then paste. It copies everything but the image. And then you just make the changes and the adjustments for the new product.
Okay.
There's one other way to update your products, and that's with a spreadsheet. I always recommend, if you want to use the spreadsheet, to at least enter 1 or 2 products in first, because it'll make the spreadsheet a little bit easier to follow, because there's so many fields on it.
Right.
So right here where it says bulk update, there's 3 different things you can do in bulk. The Sage Fast Track, which is the full product update, bulk pricing, which a lot of people are using right now because pricing in the industry is changing crazy like, and then bulk picture update. You can only do 2 images per product in bulk. Everything else has to be done manually. That's kind of the only bad side about 99 images.
Okay.
There's 3 steps. Step 1, you'll download the current product list, and that's why I say it's important to at least list 1 or 2 products. Step 2, this gives you, they call it instructions, but it's really more definitions of each field. And then you submit your changes back. I'm going to go ahead and download this so you can kind of see what it looks like. I don't want to save it as that. I'm going to change this here. So because there's so many fields on all of the products, the spreadsheet is really large. So it goes all the way over to DT.
Okay.
The only thing that is not on this spreadsheet is that middle section of the pricing tab for the options. Those also have to be done manually, or they can be done with an API data feed.
Okay.
But you can kind of see why I say it's important to at least have something populate in there.
Right.
It just makes it a little easier to kind of follow over.
Yeah.
You cannot delete any columns or add columns, but you can hide columns. So if there's certain columns you're not going to be working with, you can actually hide them. You don't have to unhide them to upload it back through the system.
Okay.
Once you add your information, you basically save and close the document, and then you just re-upload it here. And it takes about 24 business hours for it to go live.
Got it.
And you'll get like a couple of emails. You'll get one showing that it was received, and you get kind of a little tracking number. And then you'll get one saying it's in process, and I believe you also get one saying it was completed.
Gotcha. Okay.
And that's it.
Perfect.
I just gave you a lot of work.
Oh, it won't be that hard.
And if you enter in a couple of products and you would like for me to review it for you, just to make sure you're not missing any important information,
Oh, I'm
just let me know.
absolutely going to do that.
Yeah, because I look at the products a little differently than you do. I mean, it's your products, so they're kind of your babies. I look at it from a searchability standpoint, so I can notice if there's, good keywords that might be missing or anything like that.
Right. Yeah, no, it's always helpful to have somebody with a different kind of lens look through everything. So I definitely appreciate your help on that.
Yeah, and definitely, if you have any questions or if anything kind of doesn't work right for you, if you're just not sure what happened, just let me know, and we'll go through that. I will actually download this, the video for today, and I will send that link over to you probably later this afternoon.
Okay, that works perfect.
All righty. Do you guys have any questions?
I think we are all set. And if we do, I think we can definitely come back and watch the video. I think everything was covered there. Unless you guys,
Perfect.
No, thank you so much.
You guys are more than welcome. You have a good rest of the day.
All
you
right,
too,
take
Carmen.
care.
Thank you.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye.